Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to welcome Ferry Damen of Antropomorphia to this program tonight. How you doing, Ferry?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. New album coming out April 5th via Metal Blade called Merciless Savagery. Really, really good stuff. I got to hear an advanced download of it. It's awesome, Ferry.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
I like to approach the beginning of an interview as say as like I'm a new fan going to the record store looking for new music, okay? And I'm flipping down through the A's, and I've gone down through like the Angel Witch and the Annihilator and the Anthrax, and I come to Antropomorphia. And the first thing that's going to really intrigue me is the name. Can you give me just a little bit of a background on the name of the band?
Well, the name is stolen from the first debut album of Pestilence, Malleus Maleficarum. The slash Antropomorphia was the title. At the time we got that album, our band was still called Deathroned Empire, and since we were changing up the music from more Hellhammerish, blackish stuff to death metal orientated music, we looked for a fitting name, and in the 80s it was not very uncommon to get your band name from a song of a band you really like. So for us, that was the beginning of starting the band with that name when that album came out. It felt very appropriate to the music, and still does.
Yeah, very cool. Next thing that's really going to grab me is the cover of the album. Sort of beautiful and scary all at the same time, I guess, for lack of a better word. Can you tell me a little bit about that cover photo?
Well, what I can tell you is that it was not the original idea for the cover. Okay. We started out with a whole different thing, and that fell through in like 2-3 weeks before the deadline. So we had to very hastily look for something. But within that, I remembered an artist that I was following on Instagram, and her name was Nona Lima. And I said, well, she's got some disturbing and some dark vibes in her photography and in her art. So I looked up some stuff, and I talked to her, and this picture really, really spoke to me, especially for this album. I always look for something that complements the lyrics and the music. So when you hold the album cover, it all comes together. And like you said, you can interpret this album and cover in different ways. Some see beauty in it, others see the metaphors of the serpent as evil, others see a post-rape side even, people told me. So there's all kinds of different views going on, and that also intrigued me. At the end, that the original ID fell through was a blessing, because I think this cover is more than we could ask for regarding this music and the lyrics.
Which is really cool, because that's what you sort of want with a work of art like that, is everybody to sort of get a different interpretation, a different vibe to it. It's very cool.
Yeah, man.
And then the title, of course, Merciless Savagery. That's sort of intriguing, too. I read, I think, in a press release or something, you picked that title to reflect the music on the album?
Yeah, sure. It's I know it's bad English because it's conflicting with each other, and but it really says it all. When you hear the music and you hear the title, for me, there couldn't be any other title to this album, because it's merciless in many ways, and it's always difficult to have a title that gets people and relates to the music. And in this case, I really think that it does. It's a perfect fit in my eyes.
Yeah, I would say you nailed it. Album was recorded at Marco's studio, who's also your drummer, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Were these all fresh new songs, or were some of these left over from previous sessions?
No, this I always start writing with a blank slate. Except for Evangelium Necromancia, we had a song that was written and recorded somewhere in the mid '90s. We adjusted the arrangement a little bit, but for this album, I started writing with a blank slate, and you know, I used all its predecessors as the main ground to build upon with the previous album, Sermon of Rat, to be the main pillar to expand upon, so to say.
Yeah. This is sort of a celebration of the 10 years of the band reunion. You were together for a while, you took 10 years off, now you've been together 10 years. I gotta ask, which 10 years went quicker, the 10 years you were off or the 10 years since you've gotten back together?
Well, we didn't exactly stop, like I mentioned just now. We kept recording songs within those 10 years. What I said, the song that's on Evangelium Necromancia is from that era.
Okay.
But at that time, we didn't have the full capacity of time and energy to focus on this band because we weren't a complete band at that time. Our minds were at other projects for the main part, so we just recorded what we liked and put it out on MySpace.
Okay.
At that time. So after 10 years of doing that and other projects coming to an end, we decided to put our full focus on the band again. And to come back to your question, these last 10 years have gone way faster, but that's always the case when you get older. I have got to know.
I'm with you on that, Ferry. I swear the older you get, the quicker it goes. And I heard that, and I didn't really believe it, but it's true. It's very true. This album also features, I believe, the first female vocal on an Antropomorphia song?
No. We had our previous album, Sermon of Wrath, had a song called Crown of the Dead, and we had Rianne from Dorst, from the band Tool.
Okay.
She sang on there.
Okay, but you do have a song on this one called Luciferian Tempest?
Yeah, sure.
And the vocal... Go ahead.
Sorry?
No, my daughter says I'm stepping on your words, so I'm going to let you talk for a moment.
We had Rihanna sing on Crown of the Dead, and that was a reason for me to not do that again on this new album. I don't like repetitiveness in that kind of way, so I said, well, no guest vocals this time, it's just me, and that's it. But when I recorded the pre-demo for Luciferian, I got the outro, so to say, of the song needed some orchestra parts, and when I was composing them, I heard Farida's voice. She has this distinctive voice, you know. You can pick her out of any song, or you immediately know that's her. And I'm a fan of the Devil's Blood, and I know her for quite some while. So when I was busy with it and I heard her voice in my mind, I was like, okay, let me just get my phone and text her and ask her, because otherwise I can't sleep. I need to know, you know. And she immediately said yes, without even hearing the song.
Wow.
So very thankful for that.
Yeah, very cool. Great. Her vocal is excellent on that. A few other songs that jumped out at me. One of them was the song and the video both. Womb of Thorns. Amazing song and a really intriguing video. First question I got to ask the actress now, is that someone you knew, someone you hired for that video, or?
Yeah, we know her because we worked with her on a previous video from the previous album for the song Murmur of the Dead. And we, she's from Germany, she's a model. She did a great job, so we asked her again. We always have this thing when we do like 2 or 3 videos with the same person, and then see if we can find somebody else. But she does her job very well, and it makes it look great in the video. So,
what can you tell me a little bit about that song?
Yeah, I'm not very keen on explaining my lyrics.
Okay.
Because I like the art of the cover and art in general. I think everybody should have his own interpretation of it.
Right.
And that's the whole thing why I don't really like to explain them.
Okay.
To me they're very personally. But I like when I really like it when people tell me, well, I got this or that out of your song. And it means something to them in that way. So I don't want to take that away from them.
Okay, cool. I had two other tunes that jumped out at me, mostly for the music. I love the way they came together. Containable of Tunes, I thought had a really great heavy groove to it on the intros and the outros. The solos were awesome. I love the way that one pieced together, and I read how you wanted to go darker, heavier, but still had hooks and grooves. And I thought that song really had them. I thought it was really great.
Thanks, man.
And on the other one was Wailing Chorus of the Damned. I like that kind of breathy intro, kind of sparsity to it, gives everybody a chance to kind of, breathe, and really, really good tune.
Yeah, when I co-wrote Containable of Tunes with our guitar player Jos, and we've been working on that song for months, and we couldn't get the real. We had that staccato riff that's in there, that was there already.
Yeah.
But we had to figure out how to get the groove going with a more brutal and straight to the jugular kind of riff. And in the last week of pre-demoing, I came up with this what is now the verse, and it all came together. And from then on, it was really a quick process to finish the song.
Yeah, very cool. Now, when you guys play live, I checked out a couple live videos of you doing some different songs and from different gigs. This is like extremely physical music to perform. Do you have like an offstage regiment that you go through? Do you gym workout, or is the stage your gym, or how do you keep yourself in shape to do these gigs?
I go to the gym just for myself personally, but not really to get into shape for the band. The only thing that we do before we get on stage is drink. And we hang around. We don't our drummer does his thing to get warmed up a bit.
Sure.
We don't do stretches. I don't do vocal stuff. We just hang out, drink a couple of beers, have fun, and then slowly towards the show, I'll exclude myself from the band and go into my own thing. But that has nothing to do with the physical aspect of the show.
Yeah. I only had a digital download of this, so I couldn't see like liner notes or lyrics or anything. Production, do you guys produce your own material? You work with an outside producer?
Yeah. No, we, Marco, our drummer, is responsible for every recording we did since we got back full, so to speak. Mm-hmm. He mixes the albums, he produces them, and the mastering gets done by someone else. We used Dan Sueno for this album. But we recorded at his place. He mixes the stuff, and because when you're this long together as a band, you know how it should sound. Mm-hmm. Somebody from the outside could maybe make a difference, but till this point, we are very carefully with inviting somebody else to the process, because they're going to tell me something and I will disagree, because we know what's best for this band. So they have to convince us in a way that at this point I don't think is possible.
Yeah. Easier to get the sound that's in your head when you're the one twisting the knobs as opposed to trying to explain it to somebody else, you know?
Exactly. I don't. When I write a song, and you know, with the first couple of songs that we finished, I send them over to Marco, and he does his thing with it. But he already has a sound in mind, and that always is complementary of what the music is like. And we don't even have to sit down and discuss that like in that sort of way. He just knows, and that's very convenient. And yeah, that's also the reason why we don't hire somebody outside the band.
Yeah, cool. Touring plans at all?
Not at the moment. Maybe in the future, but for now we're just focusing on doing a couple of festivals, club shows, or some weekenders. But tour is not confirmed or in the plans at this point.
Okay. Any other videos planned for the album at all?
We are thinking about it. We've been talking about it, but we are also having some other thoughts about how to move forward, and that might come together with a video or a new release in a very short amount of time. But we're still thinking about that.
Okay. Are you a fan of the video making process, or you just see it as sort of a necessary evil?
I like it, but we're a do-it-yourself band, so everything that you see is everything that we do, and from the costumes, if they are there, to the locations, the prop, everything comes from ourselves. You know, we make them and do them. That's sometimes a stressful thing, but you know, at the end, the result is worth it. I'm not a big fan of that because, you know, it's always weird doing a playback to a song and still get that aggression and you know, the performance out of you. But, you know, at the end, it's worth it all. So, yeah.
Yeah. I got a couple questions to take you back to sort of the beginning of things. Where was the moment when that sort of struck that chord in you where you said, this is what I want to do? You know, I want to be in a band. I want to play guitar. I want to be, you know, where did that all come from?
That was at this, me and Marco were there at the same time. And I don't know if I remember correctly, but I think he might have gotten his drum set at that point already, and we were talking about music. We just heard the first Dead album, Scream Bloody Gore, and I went like, holy shit, this is what I was waiting for. You know, he was into thrash, he was into Creator and all that stuff, and we've been talking about music. And then at that point, he and another friend of ours, that was also a founding member who's no longer in the band, Vincent, said, well, why don't we just start a band? You already have drums, I'll pick up the guitar. And we talked about playing bass, but none of me and Vincent both didn't like bass, so we just said, okay, let's start just with 2 guitar players and a drummer and see how that goes. And yeah, that was it. There was no profound thing going on. It was just friends hanging with each other and thinking it was a great idea to make the music they liked in their own way.
Very cool. You guys have been around for a while as well. What's the biggest difference you see from when, say, you first started the band to now that's changed the most in the musical landscape?
For me personally, I can reach everybody with a touch of a button, and in the early days I had to write letters and send them out and hoping somebody would respond to them, and you know, the whole tape trading thing.
Right.
That changed, and it's still a struggle to get out there and get on a festival poster, for instance. There's a lot of bands. There's a lot of good bands. There's a lot of crappy bands. And when it comes to difference, everybody can record an album now these days. If they have the proper programs on their computer, they can pick up a guitar and interface and start recording. Doesn't mean it's good, but you know, it's there and you can put it on all of the outlets. So it's harder to see between the crap and the shit that's floating out there and pick out the good bands that are worthwhile listening. I think to me that's the most important difference. Other than that, you know, it's still hard work.
Definitely. And I agree with you. It's almost an overwhelming sense with music nowadays, just trying to listen to it all. You know, it is. It's really amazing.
Yeah, the difference in between you used to have underground music and the more known bands. Now it's what is what, you know. You have the known bands, and then you have a whole fucking Atlantic Ocean of bands. Yeah. And I still like to discover new bands. I mean, music is what I get up with and go to bed with. I am always looking for great bands, but it's very hard to discover the jewels between the sea of crap.
Yeah,
so to speak.
I agree. I agree with you. The diamonds from the rough, you know.
Yeah.
Talking with Ferry Damen of Antropomorphia here in Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Their new album, Merciless Savagery, coming out April 5th on Metal Blade. Ferry, I always like to wind things up with just some off-the-wall questions. I'm hoping these are questions maybe you've never even been asked before. Sound good?
Yeah, man.
If you could blink and appear anywhere in the world, where would you like to be?
Aruba.
Would you rather have the power to be invisible or to read minds?
Invisible.
A lot of people like to ask, first album everybody bought. I like to ask, what was the last piece of music you either bought or listened to?
Sin Mara, last album.
Wow, okay.
I don't know the title of it.
Okay. First car you bought with your own money?
First what?
First car, automobile that you bought with your own money.
First car. BMW 118.
Wow, nice. Favorite toy growing up as a child?
Damn.
Like I say, these are a little different.
Yeah. Star Wars action figures.
Nice. Do you still have them?
No, I gave them all away or sold them to a guy that collects them.
Nice. If all of us only had some of the toys we had as children, right?
Yeah, I left them in the box.
Oh, wow. Last one, and this is generally the one we have the most fun with. If they were to make a movie of your life, what actor would you have play you in the movie? And it's your movie, your life. You can pick anybody.
Dude, man, I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of good actors.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Does it have to become a box office hit?
No. Like I say, it's your movie, your life. You can.
Well, let's do. Give the lady something to look at. The guy that plays Aquaman.
I'm not up to speed on that one. Shoot.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
Okay, I'll have to look it up.
My girlfriend is the one that is infecting me with this just now. I don't know. If a guy should play me, I would say Robert De Niro. That would be my pick.
Badass. Total badass right there. Excellent. Ferry, I want to thank you very much for taking the time for me to talk to me today. Once again, this is Ferry from and I've been tripping over this name. Antropomorphia.
Yeah.
The album Merciless Savagery coming out once again April 5th on Metal Blade Records. You can get it at all the outlets. Are you selling it through a website where they can get it like directly from you guys?
Yeah, that's necromanticware.com. The link is on our Facebook, I presume.
Okay. I like to send people in that direction, and that way they can cut out that middleman. I see you got a bunch of different varieties of vinyl, which is always cool. And
yeah.
Look forward
That's
to
all
that.
Metal Blade.
Excellent. Ferry, once again, thank you very much, and best wishes for much luck and success in the future.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.